What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the things that we have bought, the things that we have spent money on that have actually saved us money in the long run. And some of these things are definitely going to surprise you, and you may actually disagree with some of the things that I share here today, and here's why. There are many different mindsets when it comes to handling money, and on one end of the spectrum, we have the worker that trades time for money and then trades money to live. There's no future thinking. There's no planning ahead or trying to get out of the rat race. And this is probably pretty close to 80% of the United States population. And I get that number from that's the number of people that are in debt and that are living paycheck to paycheck. And then there is the step above that. So this person might still be trading time for money, but they are living within their means. They are putting money away and they are saving for retirement. Nothing fancy here. These are the Dave Ramsey folk. They are living simply very risk averse, and they're putting enough money away that they can retire when they hit their mid to late 60s, early 70s. Then there is the step above that, and this individual probably started out by trading time for money, but they're outside the box thinkers, and they saw immediately how limiting this was going to be, and so they started to increase their streams of income. Now they have multiple streams of income. They have an investing mindset. They value their time appropriately, and they're willing to pay more now in order to reap the rewards later on. This group of people are long game players. What they do and what they choose to spend their money on is not going to make sense to the 80% of the population that is living paycheck to paycheck, and it's also not really going to make sense to the Dave Ramsey diehards who are trading time for money and putting money away only for retirement. This makes up maybe 3 to 4% of America, and these are the real estate investors, the house hackers, the passive income kings and queens of the 21st century. And then we have the step above that, which are the 1 to 2% million and billionaires within society that have scaled their skills and their businesses to new heights and provide jobs that fill the rest of the categories. Now, I know that this is like ultra simplified, and I don't want to spend too much time on this today, but I want to be clear why I didn't include reusable plastic bags in my video today, why I didn't include reusable napkins and makeup removers, because although these might save a little bit of money, they're also creating more work and they're taking up more time from the individual. I'm not interested in working more because then it actually becomes this huge conflict of what your time is actually worth. Just because you can physically do something cheaper doesn't mean that it's actually saving you money. This is the point, and this is the key to this entire video today. So I want to reiterate that again. Just because you can do something cheaper yourself doesn't mean that it's actually going to save you money. Here's a very real life example. For all house flippers, there is a tipping point. In the beginning, when they first start out, they want their margins to be as big as possible. So they go into the house after they sign the deal, and they are the ones that are ripping up the carpet, that are doing all the painting, that are doing all the sanding, putting the floors down. They're doing all of it, right? Because they want those margins to be big. The tipping point happens when this grunge work of painting and doing stuff that you can outsource for $15 to $20 an hour is taking up more time than them actually signing a deal, right? It might save them money to paint the house and to paint the cabinets themselves, but they would actually be losing money because they can go and sign another deal while they outsource that to someone else. And this is why I'm not interested in creating more work for myself just to save a few dollars. I would rather work really, really hard once and then have that work be residual. The difference between people who live frugally and people who just invest for the future so that they can retire, and those that are in the top 5% of America early on in life understand opportunity cost. I want to give you one more example of this, again, a real life example, because understanding and grasping opportunity cost is so much more important than anything else that I'm going to be listing in this video today. Let's say you want to start a dog walking side hustle. Now, in this side hustle, to keep things simple, for every single dog that is walked, it is $10 in revenue. Now, that business owner has two options. They can walk all of the dogs themselves and earn all $10, or they can hire someone to walk the dogs and that person can earn $8 while the business owner keeps $2 for every dog walked. Which one is going to be more profitable? The one that has the higher earning potential is the second option. This way, the business owner can be on vacation, they can be sleeping, they can be hanging with their family, and they're still earning $2 every single time a dog is walked. And this option is scalable. Opportunity cost. This will set you apart in your earning potential. Now, with this list, I organized everything in accordance to things that we have purchased to make our home more energy efficient, help lower our utilities, and then everything else. So let's start with utilities first. I am so weirdly proud of how low our utilities are. So we have water, sewer, trash once a quarter that comes in. There's not a whole lot you can do to help with this bill. It just kind of is what it is. But each month we budget just $100 for our electric and gas. And this is all passive. We don't do anything now in the day-to-day to help make it lower. It's all things that we just had to do one time or purchase one time. One thing to keep in mind is that we do live in St. Louis, so we live in the Midwest. We have all 4 seasons and we have a split level vaulted ceiling. So depending on where you live, depending on what kind of house you have, that number could be a little bit different for you. Another thing I want you to keep in mind is that utilities for us was a long game. We did a lot of this stuff when we first bought the house to help with our utilities because we knew that we were going to be staying here for several years. So we knew that the things that we bought up front were going to continue to pay for themselves long after. One of the very first things that we bought was a Nest. So a Nest is a programmable thermostat, and we can program this throughout the day according to when we get up and go to bed. It's also connected to our phone GPS, and it will let the temperature drop a little lower if it can tell we aren't home. It has an eco mode too, so if we leave for the weekend or a Saturday, we can turn it to eco for efficiency, and then on our way home, we can turn it back to normal from our phones. At the end of the month, Nest also emails you a report of the month, and you can see how you compare to other Nest owners in your area. There are other programmable thermostats out there that have similar features probably. When we moved in, ours was not programmable, so we went with the Nest and we have really loved it. Another thing that we did was purchased blow-in insulation. Especially with a vaulted ceiling, we needed all the help we could get on keeping that part of the house cold in the summers and warm in the winters. I think that it made a big difference. We purchased the blow-in insulation from Home Depot. They basically lend you out the machine that you use to blow in the insulation, and you just hook the whole thing up. It didn't make a huge mess, and I would highly recommend this, especially like I said, if you have a vaulted ceiling. Number 3 is that we bought a brand new HVAC system after ours broke a year or two after we bought the house. It was a very, very old system. It was not efficient at all. And so since we had to buy a new one anyway, it made sense for us to buy high efficiency to save money again in the long run. Number 4 is cleaning your ductwork so that your HVAC system will actually last longer. So after we had ours replaced, we found a Groupon for a company that comes in, goes through and cleans out all your ductwork in your whole house, and they took before and after pictures of our ducts, and oh my gosh, I was horrified. The people that lived here before us had cats, they had dogs, and you could tell. If you have pets, I would definitely recommend this for you. It will save your lungs and it will also save your HVAC system. Number 5 is that when we moved into the house, we replaced all the windows. We had single pane aluminum windows. They were absolutely terrible. You could feel the air basically going around the cracks and through the windows. And after we replaced our windows, we could tell a huge difference in our efficiency. If you don't have the money for all new windows, new doors, I highly recommend putting plastic up over the windows in the winter. My parents did this for us when we were kids, and it helped keep our house a lot warmer. And my landlord actually also did this in our college house because our house was over 100 years old and the windows were absolutely terrible. So I definitely recommend getting new windows. If you can't swing new windows, definitely put up plastic in the winter if you live in an area where the temperature drops significantly. Number 6, on that note, we also replaced our door that went from our entryway to our garage. When we moved in, the door wasn't installed properly, so it didn't close all the way and you could see light coming in from the other side. So that was really a no-brainer for us. Replacing doors like that is not going to be too expensive. We did find that replacing our front door was going to be thousands of dollars, way more expensive than what we wanted to pay at the time. So that's still on our list of things to do before next summer. But just replacing the door from our entryway to our garage, we've already been able to see a big difference. Number 7 is a small space heater. If the temperature really drops, it makes sense for us to use this small space heater that we got for my office instead of having the whole house kick on. Usually I don't have to use it, but it does help balance the heat bill and makes me comfortable in my office, so it's a win-win. Number 8 is installing motion sense LED lights. We got ours specifically from Costco, and a big pro is not having to remember to turn these off when we leave the house. This has been huge for saving us on electricity, and it takes some getting used to at first, but now we absolutely love these lights. Number 9 was purchasing a water softener. Now, I know a water softener doesn't help with the utilities exactly, but it can save your appliances. I would highly recommend buying a water softener if you live in an area with really hard water. So if you see calcium deposits on your shower head, on your sinks, that's also going to be in things like your dishwasher, your washing machine, and your water heater. And that's going to destroy your appliances and not make them last as long as they potentially could. What we did is we purchased a water softener and then we started replacing some of our other appliances. That is it on getting our utility bill so low each month. I also want to spend some time talking about the things that don't necessarily save us a ton of money, but they save us a ton of time. When we're not spending our time doing weekly chores, instead we can spend our time on money-making activities, or we can spend our time instead on things that we enjoy. One of those things that we purchased is a really big washer dryer. In the summer months, we can do all of our clothes in one load. In the winter months, we can do our clothes plus towels and things like that in 3. This saves us a lot of time, and it probably is energy efficient when you think about the soap, the dryer sheets, and just the energy that is used when you're doing fewer loads of laundry. And remember, like I said earlier, with opportunity cost, if I'm doing laundry, then I'm not doing money-making activities and I'm not resting from my work. So it all comes back to opportunity cost. I want you guys to remember that. Another example of this is our Eatology meals. We order meals about 4 times a month for dinner, and we love Eatology because their meals are paleo, delicious, and created with a balance of macros in mind. With dinners taken care of through the week, this saves us so much time of prepping and cooking, and our work days don't get cut short. Another purchase that we made that saves us money is our deep freezer in the basement. It's not fancy, but it stores all of our deer meat that Ethan gets during hunting season. Every year, Ethan gets a deer or 2 and processes the meat with a friend, and the ongoing costs are so cheap. The costs associated with this are really just deer tags, which I believe are like $17 each, and then you've got the bullets, which can be $10 and up, the range sighting, which is $5, but you get 50 plus pounds of meat each deer season. And that's really just rifle season in Missouri. Here's some of the other upfront costs that go along with this. Some of the other upfront costs include having a rifle or a bow, a scope, the proper clothing, a meat grinder, a deep freezer, and packaging materials. To us, it was very worth it for the premium deer meat, and it's something that Ethan really enjoys. Something else that we buy each year that saves us money is the Every Dollar Plus app. This is $130 for the year, and the difference between Every Dollar Free and Every Dollar Plus is that it connects to your bank and brings in your transactions to your phone. So all you have to do is open up the app and drop the transactions into the appropriate category. I love the convenience of this app and the fact that your transactions come through automatically, so all we have to do is drop them into the categories. This easily pays for itself in the decisions that it helps us make throughout the year. The next one is technically a business expense, but I want to mention it here because I was on the fence for a long time and recently took the plunge, and that is an Audible subscription. The reason that I was on the fence for such a long time is that I was so annoyed that I had the library as a free resource, but the truth of the matter was I could check out books to listen to through all their different apps, and that was kind of a headache in and of itself. And then if I didn't finish the book would disappear after a week because someone else had checked it out, even though it's electronic, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so the book would disappear and I'd have to go through this whole line again of people in order to get the book again. And I was like, even though it's free, I'm listening to like maybe a tenth of the books that I would actually be listening to if I had Audible. It was just a logistical nightmare trying to keep track of everything. And the reality was Audible more than pays for itself because the books that I'm listening to, the books that I am consuming are so valuable, and it's helping me make better decisions. It's opening my eyes and my mindset to other things about money. It's really a no-brainer. My hope for you is that this video has expanded your thinking and your money mindset so that you can join the top 5% of the population in thinking about your money in an outside-the-box kind of way. Don't forget about the importance of considering the opportunity cost when making these decisions, and your future self will reap the rewards. As always, don't forget to like this video if you got value here today. Subscribe to my channel so that you can see my future videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.